I didn't want to make the call. I was scared. Scared of the whole thing. But her family pressed me into making it. I felt like an imposter. I hadn't seen her in 50 years. The sister, Elizabeth, said, but it would mean so much to her. You two were a dream couple, like out of a book. It will free her up to die. And so I sat in my cubicle at work, with workers on both sides of me, waiting for her sister to patch the call to me. Around 12:15, during the lunch hour, it came. Elizabeth spoke. Mike, I'm putting the phone to Julie's ear. Just start talking. I could hear erratic breathing on the other end. I wasn't prepared for her to be unable to speak. I had to do all of this, all the talking, all the knowing what to say, on my own. What if I didn't know what to say? What if I couldn't live up to these expectations? Hello, Julie, I started. Elizabeth has been after me to give you a call, so here I am. The breathing quickened on the other end. Was it a signal of excitement, or just shortness of breath? I told Liz, I said, I haven't even seen you since 1968. That's 50 years, dear. After 50 years, I wasn't sure what I would say to you. But then it all came back. I remembered the first time I saw you, when I was 14, you 16. It was in the Plato's living room. A handful of high school thespians were there. And suddenly, you were sitting at the upright piano, banging out the chords to Bringing in the Sheaves. You were such a trip, Julie. Your giant head of honey brown hair, like a crazy benign witch in a movie. And your grin, so full of joy and power, and braces, making fun of the hymn, while also doing it justice. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. Do you remember that? I don't even know why I was in that room. I lived next door. But I was just the neighbor boy, dropping by. But looking at you, I thought, wow. The right person can do just about anything. I was so impressed by you. Julie was breathing quietly through her nose now. I heard the choppy breathing as laughing. Breathing quickly. My co-worker in the next cube, this is at Thomson Reuters in Eagan, was now realizing I was on a very personal call. So she got up and stole away to give us some privacy. You and I were alone now. I remember starting high school and finding you in my classes. I had thought you were a woman, so it was weird to learn you were just a girl, statistically. And from that day, you saw something in me, I do not know what, and began to cultivate me, flattering me, telling me how wonderful I was. You liked me right out of the box. That was something for me, to be shown such respect from the likes of you. So for a year, we were school friends. We both lived on Park Avenue, so I would stop off with you and talk about books and people we knew. We listened to the Fugs and Beatles on your record player. You loved to gossip. And because you did, I did too. Teacher invited us to take the Ohio High School scholarship tests. You scored number 2 in the state because you knew everything. Shakespeare, Dante, Dickinson, all those guys. All I really knew was fun boy writers like Mark Twain and Jules Verne. But it was enough for me to score number 17. After that, we were the town geniuses, number 2 and number 17. People saw us as a couple. I was afraid to think of you as my girlfriend. You were so grand, and you seemed summoned from some past era, like Sarah Bernhardt. When you laughed, you put one hand on your breast, like a duchess, stylized. But I just wanted a regular girlfriend, not Sarah Bernhardt. A cutie, not a beauty. I was afraid of your giant personality. One night at your house, you dared me to kiss you with your hands on your hips. And I did, out on the lawn, standing on needles under a tall Scotch pine. I held you in my arms, and in 1 minute I morphed from boy to trouble. When we let go of one another, I ran home under the stars, up the Park Avenue hill, and then down again, never stopping. When I turned 16, I moved one town away and acquired a car, a green Buick Special. I would pick you up and we would make out on an overlook by Route 2. I drove the car and I drove you too. Beep, beep, yeah. We would jump out of the car in the dark, aggressively naked, and mauled each other on the trunk. I remember your smell. I loved your smell. I barked at the moon. Then we went away to different colleges. I hitchhiked 100 miles once to see you in Ashtabula, and your roommates cleared out so we could be naked together for an afternoon and a night. You were a woman now, and I was this close to being a man. And in the morning I stole away, and I never saw you again. 1969. I heard you married and divorced. I heard you were in Boston. I learned you became a psychiatric nurse, tending to people without money. I learned you could reach people when no one else could. The reason? Because you yourself were seriously bipolar. I was described later as bipolar too, but on me it just came across as moody. I learned you switched sides and married a woman you loved, and you had a daughter together who became a doctor. We talked on the phone once before you got sick. You helped me think through my daughter's suicide. You remained proud of me after all that had happened and all that had not happened. You were so wise and so kind to this boy who deserted you. You wanted to get together, but I held back. We started out as a fairy tale couple. I didn't want you to see how ordinary I had turned out. What an underachiever your prince turned out to be. And then you got sick, and here we are. And here I am doing all the talking. There was a long pause, during which we both breathed and choked. I just want to tell you one thing, Julie Miller. You were a friend to my life. You showed me who I could be, and you showed me who you were. And for that, I will always love you, with thanks in my heart and tears in my eyes. I hung the receiver up. 4 days later, her brain tumor whisked her away. In the end, I was glad for that phone call. She needed it. I needed it. There was still a bit of magic when we talked. Everyone should have a friend like you.